Welcome back. Everybody have a seat. See how what a lousy day it is out, and we're lucky we're in here working together on this case. We're missing one juror. We're not missing a juror. We just had different chairs.
Are you not
We got one. We got everybody. Do we have a pen that's failed?
Yes.
Okay. We'll take care of that for you. Good morning again, folks. Deputy Ross. All right. A couple pens that are... Another one? All right. As you remember, yesterday when we broke, the state was still presenting their case in chief, and I'm going to turn back to Mr. Parnafiello to either call as next witness or to publish the exhibit that you had indicated.
Yes, Your Honor. The state would ask to publish state's exhibit number 120A, which was an audio file recovered by Detective Fay on April 2nd, 2018 at 3:19 p.m.
All right, that will be granted. It's in evidence.
Hey, what's up with your dad?
Did you hear something?
Well, the Boca Raton police just called me.
Okay.
Said that they saw on the phone records he spoke to me on Wednesday, and yeah, I spoke to him Wednesday because Todd was coming down.
I know. Yeah, no, let me tell you.
Okay.
And just understand why I haven't told you anything yet. I didn't want you to be worried and without us knowing anything. So on Saturday morning, he went supposedly kayaking with a new girlfriend.
Rita?
No, like I said, a new one. It's not
okay.
somebody that he had just met, and he's missing. We don't know who this woman is. We don't know where he is. Gary was here. Got here on Saturday. He told Gary that he would be back Saturday afternoon. He kind of mentioned that to me. He doesn't tell me about Rita and these girls. He doesn't. He just doesn't. He's. I don't know. Probably because it doesn't make me feel good because of my mother, right? So.
Yeah.
But anyway, he met this woman when we were golfing. I didn't see her. He met her, at the practice range or something. Anyway, the long story short is that he never, he haven't been found. His car was parked at the boat launch in Del Rey, Knowles Park, which is over on, it's between Linton and Atlantic.
Yeah, I know where it is.
And so we found her, Gary and I came over here, we were going to watch the Michigan game Saturday night. We were golfing Sunday morning for Easter, and Skip didn't show up Saturday. He apparently had spent the night with her, maybe the night before, possibly the 2 nights in a row. And so, I was here taking care of the cats at some of the time across the street. Ernie was helping out. So he didn't show up. And so we were really worried, but, we didn't think anything of it yet. So, but Sunday morning, missing the game was one thing, but then missing golf, we knew there was a problem. So Sunday morning, we got up and we called all the hospitals. Nothing, and then we called the police, and the police, started to do an investigation. They found the car, and, yesterday, they had the Coast Guard helping out with the Boca Raton Marine Patrol looking, and, they didn't find, either of them. They didn't find a kayak. They haven't, so it's kind of apparently there's a camera on the Linton Bridge, and and we actually, Gary and I this afternoon went and had lunch at Decade 4, and there's a camera that's on the Atlantic Bridge as well. A kayak might be able to go underneath undetected. I don't know. I'm not, I'll let you speculate about these things. But, so they're going through the phone records and calling people. I haven't really called anybody and told them, but as people are getting called, like you, I'm telling them.
Yeah, we were up with Terry and Dawn watching the space launch, come and help you or, search or, things. What about the golf course? They don't have names of people that are there?
So that, yes. So, that was the first thing that they did was they got a list of, all the women that were playing kind of around the time that we were playing. They don't, to hit golf balls on the range, or the putt, they don't get any games. If somebody goes and checks in for two people, they don't, necessarily have to get the name. It's only when you go in and you pay yourself. The police are gonna go to the south, the golf course, the South Winds, I think today, and just see if, there's, any cameras or anything like that. There was no cameras where the car was parked. There was Walgreens across the street, but the camera doesn't go to the park. So, I'm gonna print up some flyers, I think, missing. And then I think tomorrow, I'm waiting to kind of still, I've got to be patient a little bit because of the police doing their thing, but, I think tomorrow we're gonna, go and put some flyers out, because like some of the marinas, try to hit some, maybe somebody saw them. It's shocking, and it's.
Yes, it certainly is. Well, listen, we will be home this evening, and keep in touch with us. Got my cell phone number here, and I don't know if you have a condo number or not, but the cell phone's usually on. And if we can help you do anything tomorrow, by all means, get in touch with us. And keep us posted, okay?
I will. Yeah, I'm waiting for another update later this afternoon.
Okay.
When you just got the call just now?
Just now, we
Okay.
pulled it in
Good.
at this park, this Jenny Park up here. We came up yesterday and had dinner with them for Easter, and we're up at Port Canaveral right now, this Jenny Park, to watch the launch. Because we've never seen one.
I wish they would have called you after the launch, at least, so you would.
Well, listen, you keep us posted.
I will.
Anything we could do tomorrow, if you want us to put up flyers and stuff, we'll certainly do that.
Okay, sounds good.
We could come and feed the cats or anything like that?
No, Gary's here and I'm here. I went home this morning and I got, like a week's worth of clothes and stuff, so I'm pretty much here. Ernie's been great across the street, and how was Todd's trip down to the mines?
Oh, he loved it. He'd never been to he has a goal where he wants to go to all baseball stadiums on his bucket list.
It's a great goal.
That's a new stadium, and he'd never been to an opening day before, so he had great seats right along the third base line, about 3 rows back, and he just loved it.
Oh, super. Look at him, man.
The people beside him actually were from Ohio, and he got to talk with them, and they went to the Cleveland Club after the game, so he had a wonderful day.
Oh,
But thank you for asking.
You're welcome. I know. And give my love to Don and Terry and Mark, please. And keep skipping your prayers.
All right, take care, honey.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Love you too.
Judge, at this time, the state will call Detective Joe Noyes. All right.
Well, folks, I want to give you an exhibit number change. Yesterday, the state offered into evidence, and the court accepted into evidence, a Gmail extraction and a Google search warrant, which was labeled 104. The clerk has subsequently notified the court and the state that that number was used for something else. It's actually one of the empty pill bottles that was introduced in the trial. And the state has renumbered that exhibit to 170. So that's 170, what had previously been entered as 104. Sir, you'll be sworn in by our Deputy Clerk, Ms. Briggs.
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I want you 2 steps and chairs on wheels, okay? All right, thank you.
Hi, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Make yourself comfortable, and then once you've done that, please introduce yourself to the folks on our jury, and spell your last name for us all.
My name is Detective Joseph Noyes, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Last name spelled Noyes.
All right, and with that, Mr. Parneville, I'll return to you, sir.
Detective Noyes, you indicated you were at the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office.
That's correct.
How long have you worked with PBSO?
I've worked for PBSO for over 12 years now.
And have you ever worked for any other law enforcement agency?
No, I have not.
What is your current assignment with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office?
I'm currently assigned to the Violent Crimes Division Homicide Unit.
And how long are you a detective?
I am a detective, yes.
How long have you been a detective in the Violent Crimes Unit?
Over 5 years.
Before being a detective, what other roles or what other duties and responsibilities have you had with PBSO?
I've worked on a street crimes unit, which focused on drug sales and search warrants, and then also road patrol in the north end of the county.
So for the past 5 years, you've been a detective in the Violent Crimes Unit?
That's correct.
Do you have any specialized training in the area of cell phone location mapping?
Yes, I do. I have over 200 hours of additional training.
Can you tell the members of the jury what your training and experience is with regards to cell site mapping and cell location mapping?
Sure. Just going to read it off the list here. I have an 8-hour training course presented by PATC Tech at a PBSO homicide conference in regards to cellular phone technology. That was December 2013. I have an additional training course from PATC Tech, cellular phone technology. It was a 16-hour course in July of 2015. I have a training course with ZETX, ZETX, criminal investigation using cellular technology. It's a 40-hour course. That was August 2016. I took a ZETX, ZETX subject matter expert class for cell detail records and geolocation analysis. That was a 40-hour course in May 2017. With that subject matter expert course, there's 3 additional pass and or fail workshops after the class concluded. I passed all 3 of those, and that training was, the totality of that training was completed May 2018 with 44 additional hours. I took an additional ZX criminal investigation using cellular technology 40-hour course in April 2018, and that is part of a continuing education as required for the subject matter expert certification from ZX. And then once again, ZX criminal investigation using cellular technology, additional 40 hours, February 2019. I've worked with AT&T, Metro PCS, T-Mobile, before and after the merger with Metro PCS, Verizon, TracFone, Sprint, Ultra Wireless, Simple Mobile, and several different social media networks in terms of analyzing and mapping data. I have, since 2016, I've analyzed or mapped over 100 different phone numbers, and that's as of February 20th, 2019, the last calculation for that. Since January 2018, I've completed approximately 551 casework hours in addition to my normal homicide duties. And again, that's also as of February 20th, 2019.
Do all homicide detectives have that training?
No.
So is there times when the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office is asked, or you specifically are asked to aid other agencies?
Yes.
Were you asked to aid the Boca Police Department with cell site mapping and other investigative means in this case?
Yes, I was.
Describe for the members of the jury what a call detail record is.
The call detail record is a report, and in this case, a report that we received from both T-Mobile and AT&T. And what the call detail record does is it provides a transactional history of calls or text messages, and in AT&T's case, data usage. So it'll provide you a date, a time, the phone numbers associated with that transaction, again, whether it's a phone or text message, a phone call or text message. And then it also tells you which tower the device used, cellular tower, and which side of the tower or sector that cellular device used. And using that sector information, we can say which direction away from the tower the device was located. It gives us directionality and allows us to map where that device was from the tower.
And is the call detail record what we might think of as phone records?
That's correct.
The call detail record has the additional mapping data?
Correct. With AT&T and T-Mobile, they incorporate the tower mapping data along with that transactional details.
So you said that in this case you had data from both AT&T and T-Mobile.
That's correct.
Was the AT&T phone the one that was identified to you as being the father's phone, Skip Scandirito Sr.?
Yes,
And the T-Mobile phone was the defendant's phone?
that's correct.
Are call detail records from AT&T the same as call detail records from T-Mobile?
No, they differ in a couple different ways. T-Mobile incorporates their phone and text messages all in one report. So if you have a phone call, a text message, a phone call, that's all in chronological order in one report. And T-Mobile will only track or provide tower information for phone calls and text messages. In the case with AT&T, they have basically 3 different reports. So you have all of your phone calls in chronological order, and then all of your text messages in chronological order, and then all of your data usage in chronological order. They're not combined. So you have to go through each one individually, and you'll see that when I show you the maps that they're all mapped individually. Also, in this particular instance, AT&T has data that's called NELOS. It's an acronym, and it stands for Network Element Locating Service. It provides an estimated location of the device.
Did you also obtain records from Google that you used to assist you in determining location?
Yes, it did.
Tell the members of the jury how it is that you came to that information and what type of information it is.
So pursuant to legal demand sent to Google, they send location data along with other things that were asked in that legal demand. And what Google provides in this case for location data is 3 different things. They provide you, the least precise being the cell tower used by the device at a particular date and time. Or they will provide you a Wi-Fi, what Wi-Fi networks or SSIDs, what Wi-Fi names the device can see. The device doesn't have to connect to them, but for instance, coming here to the courthouse, I think the Wi-Fi network's PBC courthouse. So your device sees that that's around, you didn't necessarily connect it, and Google can say that you're in the general area of the courthouse based on the fact that your device saw that network. And this is much more precise than your cellular data location. And then the most precise, obviously, being GPS. So if you as a Google user agree to the location services and agreements with Google, then you've agreed to allow Google to see where you are via GPS. Also, if you use navigation services such as navigating here to the courthouse using Google Maps or Waze, which is a Google navigation service also, then Google now knows where you are while you're driving down there and when you get to that particular location. And this is all information that would be provided by Google pursuant to a legal demand for location services on an account.
And do you know how it is that Google knows where the location of the Wi-Fi spots are?
Yes, so what Google does is they use all of the individuals, so for example, the courthouse. I'm sure there's probably hundreds, if not thousands of people that come to the courthouse daily or weekly. And not everybody comes here often, so they don't necessarily know how to get here. So there's probably a handful that navigate here using Google Maps or something like that. So now Google knows that the Palm Beach County Courthouse is at this particular GPS coordinate. Okay, so it uses that information to say, okay, at this particular GPS coordinate, the Wi-Fi network, PBC courthouse, is also located at that network. When I'm here, the PBC network, the Wi-Fi network, is also at this particular GPS coordinate. So it builds up and creates a geographical fence. So it says, all right, anytime at these locations, these devices also see this Wi-Fi network. So therefore, those of us that have location services off and don't navigate here, just the fact of me walking in and my phone knowing that it can see Palm Beach County Courthouse Wi-Fi network, Google now knows, okay, well, that's associated with all of these GPS coordinates. That is associated with you being at the courthouse or relatively close to the courthouse.
And then information is provided to you. Do you have software that helps you plot and map the call detail records as well as the Google location information?
Yes, so the company that I took a lot of my training with, ZX, they have a software called Trax, Trax. And what that system does, it automates the mapping process. In this particular case, we have thousands, probably over 10,000 lines of data. So if I were to map all of that individually, I'd be spending a lot of time trying to figure all that out. What this does is it automates that process, cuts down the time and cuts down the error of manually hand mapping everything. And then it places it in what you're going to see, a Google Earth map. And Google Earth is basically Google Maps. It looks similar, it's just a different application and a different name.
Did you create a PowerPoint to assist your presentation of all this information to the members of the jury?
I did.
And would it assist your testimony with regards to plotting the movements of the defendant's phone or defendant's handset and the victim's handset throughout the course of this investigation?
Yes, it would.
Your Honor, may the witness utilize this PowerPoint at this time?
Sure, has it been marked as an exhibit?
I can mark it as State's Exhibit number 171.
Are you intending to introduce it or use it just as a demonstrative aid?
Use it as a demonstration.
All right, folks, this exhibit 171 is not going to be offered into evidence. In other words, it's not going to go back with you when you deliberate the case, but it's being used as an aid to assist Detective Noyes in his testimony. And with that instruction, you may continue. Where's that going to appear?
It's going to appear on the screen right here. I just
All right.
got to duplicate the screen. Might have went to sleep.
Sorry, my lord.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's slowly coming on screen there.
So the first slide is obviously just to orient everybody that you were assisting both with the police department in their case. So tell the members of the jury who you had Google location data for.
Google provided Google location data for 2 accounts associated with Scandirito Sr. And those 2 accounts were skipterry@gmail and Scandirito skip@gmail. And each of those accounts were associated with 2 different devices. And I'll notate that as we move forward, but just so you know, the skipterry@gmail is associated with a tablet that belonged to Scandirito Sr. Scandirito skip@gmail was associated with a Samsung J7, which is also the same device listed in the AT&T records.
Is that a cell phone?
That is, I'm sorry, that's a cellular device.
Okay. So moving to the next slide, can you show the members of the jury what are we going to see in this slide?
Okay, so this is going to be Google location data, and this is associated again with skipterry@gmail. This account is linked to, the location data is linked to that Samsung tablet, and that tablet's stored at 412 Northwest 72nd Street in Boca Raton. That's Scandirito Sr.'s address. And what's important about this is this Google location data shows us what we would expect to see when a device is at that residence. And you'll notice a big difference later on in terms of the accuracy and how big the estimated location of the device is compared to it being at home and being somewhere else.
Is there an animation that you prepared to show the members of the jury what a device looks like when it does not move?
Yes. And in the animation, I've got a brief little legend down here on the bottom. Right here, this green pinpoint will represent the location 412 Northwest 72nd Street. This is Scandirito Sr.'s address. This blue dot with a yellow circle around it, and it's kind of faint, but it'll look more yellow when we come to the next screen, that represents the estimated location of the device. So that could be very large or it could be very small. So sometimes you'll see almost just the blue dot. Sometimes you'll see a much larger yellow circle, and that all depends on how accurate or how precise that particular data is. If it's a GPS hit, it's going to be very small. If it's a cell tower hit, like I said, which is it's less precise, the yellow circle will be very large.
When you're given the data, does it provide you the area of uncertainty?
Yes, they provide the dates, the time, the GPS or the longitude, latitudinal coordinates, and then the distance. So it could be anywhere from 25 meters to 25,000 meters, which would be how big that circle would be.
So now what are you going to show the members of the jury?
So this is going to be an animation. So like I said, this is based off of Google Earth. It looks very similar to what Google Maps would resemble when you're navigating somewhere. And my little circle came off my mouse, but if you can see my mouse right here, underneath that blue dot, there's a yellow pinpoint. So this is Scandirito Senior's address, and I have it paused. What we're going to do is we're going to progress through time. We're going to see how the Google location data moved or didn't move through the course of time. This starting all the way on March 18th and then progressing all the way towards the end of these records. And now we're going to begin moving forward through time. So we can see the different hits, some being smaller yellow circles, some being larger, but it remains in that same general area, consistent with being at Scandirito Senior's house. And again, this is what we would expect to see if the device was at the house.
And which you said Scandirito Senior had a tablet and a cell phone.
That's correct.
Which is this for?
This is the tablet.
And can we see the time scale at the top of the screen as well?
Yes, so the times, this is how the time moving forward. This is an end time. So it's just showing you the end of a time frame that we're looking at. It could be 15 or 30 minutes of a time span that we're viewing, but it's no later than 2 p.m. right there on that time scale.
What creates those hits that Google's able to track?
The tablet being, in this instance, being connected to or not connected necessarily, but seeing that Wi-Fi network at or around Scandirito Senior's address. I can't say that it's Scandirito Senior's Wi-Fi, but it's either his or one of his neighbors. And what this yellow circle around the blue represents is the area that Google estimates you can be in and still connect to that Wi-Fi.
Were you given information by law enforcement that there was some type of golf game that was played on March 28, 2018 at 9 in the morning, around 9 to 1?
Yes, it was.
And did you utilize that when plotting the cell tower data or CDRs for the defendant and the victim?
Yes, I did.
Tell the members of the jury what your analysis of that period of time was.
So this was in regards to Southwinds Golf Course, and it was March 28th, and I looked at a time frame of 9 a.m. to about 1 p.m., knowing that the tee time was around 9:15 a.m. And one of the best parts about this is this kind of helps us corroborate the data that we're looking at. So we're going to look at Google location data, and we're going to look at estimated locations from AT&T. And the best thing to do with that kind of data is to be able to corroborate it with known facts. Because we know when they got to the golf course because there's going to be receipts, and we know when he returned home because there's going to be surveillance camera footage. So the first thing we're going to look at is, again, some Google location data. But this particular location data is for scandiritosskip@gmail.com. So like I said before, on each one of these I'm going to tell you which device it's associated with. This one is going to be associated with Scandirito Senior's cellular device. It's a Samsung cellular device. And what you're going to see in the animation is something that's consistent with traveling from Scandirito Senior's house to Southwinds Golf Course. And then you're going to see movement around the golf course. And then you're going to see the device traveling back towards Scandirito Senior's address. And it's going to be a similar legend. So we still have this green pinpoint right here. And that green pinpoint will still represent Scandirito Senior's address. Now we have a red dot with a yellow circle. And this is just to show you the difference. The red dot will always be the cell phone. The blue dot would always be the tablet. So this will represent the estimated location of Scandirito Senior's Samsung cellular device per Google's location information. And then this red marker right here with the number 2 on it will represent Southwinds Golf Course.
You can show your animation to members of the jury.
Sorry, I misclicked. Oh, sorry, hold on, that was the wrong one. Google location, okay, here we go. So again, this is going to be a Google Earth map, and we see that we start in the area of Scandirito Senior's address. And now we're going to see, as the device travels south and then west, these larger ones are going to be cellular tower Google location data. These smaller ones will be Wi-Fi and GPS. Now we're going southbound, and right here we've now arrived at the Southwinds Golf Course. And what I have here is the tee time receipts, or the receipts they received for golfing, and it shows a 9 a.m. and 9:02 a.m. Time, which is consistent with the Google location data that we have here. So this helps corroborate what Google's sending us. And we're going to move forward, and you're going to see movement around the golf course. And this one right here is going to become pretty interesting. This is going to be a GPS hit, number 1277. And I'm going to pull up the information here. So at 9:24, we have a GPS hit of 14 meters, which is really small. And that puts them either at the end of hole number 2 or at the beginning of hole number 3. And this is just 9 minutes into their golf round. Again, very consistent with what you would expect to see during a round of golf. House. So it may not look like it's reaching onto the golf course, but the golf course is wide open. So I'm sure a lot of us driving away from our house will notice that we stay connected to our Wi-Fi almost to the stop sign or stoplight or whatever away from our house. So that's just what Google's seeing. It can see those Wi-Fi networks, but it doesn't, they're obviously not golfing in the neighborhood unless they're really bad at golf. So we're just going to see how the device moves around here. We're right around 10 a.m. And I think this is about what we hit the back 9. So it's a total of 18 courses. The back 9 would be the second half of your golfing festivities. And we're going to zoom out with a large cell tower hit right here. But just keep in mind, all of this is consistent with them being at Southwinds Golf Course, playing a round of golf, just like the information that we have. And then we're making our way back towards the area of the clubhouse.
Do you also, while we're watching that, do you also do the same type of plotting with the Scandirito Seniors cell tower hits?
Yes, I do.
And you mapped those and also created animations for those?
That's correct.
Are they corroborative of this Google mapping?
Yes, they are.
Are they also consistent with them playing around golf?
Yes, they are. And right here we can see him traveling back towards his residence, and we're eastbound. And in just a second here, we're going to begin to see the green pinpoint, which is going to be Scandirito Senior's address. You can see it over there on the right edge. And the device is going to continue moving towards there. And then right about now, we're going to see a surveillance camera still shot right here. And I know it might be a little bit hard for some to read, but this is 12:53 p.m. And what it is it's Scandirito Senior's SU.
To the commentary on other evidence introduced by other witnesses.
Okay, I'm going to overrule that objection. It's in evidence that the witness can actually refer to these other exhibits. If they're not in evidence, then I would sustain your objection. Is that photograph in evidence?
No. Nine.
Okay,
The video is in evidence, Your Honor. We published it through Detective Ham.
and that is exhibit, do you know what the exhibit number is, sir?
Exhibit number 17, I believe.
All right, I'm going to overrule the objection. Thank you.
So we'll see the vehicle here, and it's consistent with the Google location data of Scandirito Senior's device arriving back home.
I apologize, Your Honor. It's exhibit number 13. So you indicated you also did the same mapping for the cell towers for this particular golfing?
That's correct. We have AT&T internet data, Nellos activity, AT&T text message activity, and then T-Mobile phone voice and text message.
And is that of the defendant?
The T-Mobile one would be yes.
Can you skip ahead from the victim's CDR information and move to the defendant and just show us how the defendant's records, which are different than the Google records, corroborate the victim's Google record?
So what I have here too is a comparison with the two overlapped. And what we're going to see is Scandirito Senior's device information associated with AT&T. And one thing I need to point out is on the legend here. So Scandirito Senior's AT&T data will resemble this image right here, this green brain-looking image, and that's what represents our sectors. If you remember from before, a tower is separated into sectors, and the sectors provide us a direction away from the tower that the device is going to be in the general area. And what the color represents is where we believe the device to be. Okay, if it was outside of that area, we would expect to see the device hand off or switch to a different tower or sector. Okay, so the red would be the same thing, but that's just going to be for Scandirito Junior's T-Mobile account. Green pinpoint is still going to be Scandirito Senior's address. The red dot with the yellow circle will be the Google information that we just saw just a second ago, and the red number 2 is going to represent Southwinds Golf Course. So this is a transaction, and this actually takes place at 11:44. And right here we have Scandirito Senior's T-Mobile transaction, right here, this red brain-looking overlay. And then it's a little difficult to see, but all these little red dots right here are also the Google location data that we have from Scandirito Senior's account. And we're going to move forward here, and we're going to overlay the AT&T mobile data. So obviously we can see that the red is overlapping the green, which would be consistent with both devices being at the golf course and both devices being at least in the same general area. This is the Nellos activity. This is the estimated location service provided by AT&T. Once again, it overlaps that area. It's consistent with being in that same general area. And that's it.
Were you alerted to something that happened at a Home Depot that you then looked at this data to try to determine locations?
Yeah, I was provided information that Scandirito Jr. was observed on surveillance video at Home Depot, and that Home Depot's at 1400 Water.
All right, I'm going to sustain the objection to the narrative about that evidence. Just, you can ask a hypothetical question in the form of a hypothetical given evidence that's in trial, but to have the witness just volunteer information like that is inappropriate to sustain.
Did you do an analysis of either the defendant's phone or the victim's phone on about the location on or around March 29th at 6:06 a.m.?
Yes, I did.
And was one of the areas that you were looking at 1400 Waterford Place, Delray Beach?
Yes, it was.
What types of data did you have when you were looking for the movements for this particular time?
During this time frame, I had limited AT&T data from Scandirito Senior's device, Google location data from Scandirito Senior's cellular device, and that was it. There was actually no activity for Scandirito Junior's device during this time frame.
What would that indicate to you?
It would indicate that there was either no or limited, the device could either not be receiving communication or the device could be off.
Okay. So when we're looking at March 29th at around 6:06 in the morning at 1400 Waterford Place, is all the information that we're going to get from the victim's phone?
That's correct.
And were you ever provided the victim's phone?
The physical device, no.
Okay. Tell members of the jury what your analysis was of the victim's phone on March 29th at 6:06.
The information was consistent with the victim's device not leaving the residence.
And did you prepare an animation?
I did.
When you say the device, we talked about two devices that the victim has. Are we talking about the cell phone, or are we talking about the handset, the cell phone or the tablet?
This will be, all the data here will be in regards to the cellular device. So the first group of information, and I think I forgot to go over it, this blue pinpoint on the top that I'm circling with my mouse, that is the Home Depot. The green pinpoint is going to be the residence. Okay, and we're going to see that the residence is technically just outside this colored area. I actually do a drive scan during my analysis to verify that this tower could actually reach the residence.
What is a drive scan?
Thank you. A drive scan is a process of driving around, and you have a box in the car, and that box is connected to two antennas, one of which is being a GPS, so the box knows where we're at, and the other is a giant cellular antenna. And what you do is you drive around, and that box is just grabbing information. It's wherever that GPS coordinate is, it's determining which cell tower could reach at that location. So in this particular instance, I drove all of the points of interest in this case to determine which towers would be consistent with reaching at that location, and the only way to be 100% sure that those towers could reach, it would be by doing that drive scan. And that was, in this particular instance, one of the reasons is Scandirito Senior's house is almost in the center of about 5 or 6 different towers, and he's equidistant or equally far away from each of those towers almost. So it's always going to be like almost right at the edge of these handoff coverage areas. So I wanted to be able to confirm to say that the device is at the home when using these particular towers. So this would be consistent. These AT&T data transactions are consistent with the senior's device, Scandirito Senior's device, being at the house. And this is an example of the drive scan data. So the blue circles with what looks like a cell phone signal, that's actually where I'm at while I'm driving. And so as you can see, all of these blue circles are slightly outside of this handoff coverage area, but they're also right next to Scandirito Senior's residence. So this shows me that it would be reasonable to say that the device is at Scandirito Senior's house, because that's what the data shows me.
Does the device, either device, begin to move in a southern direction at some point after the mapping that you did for 329 between at 6:06 a.m.?
Yes.
Tell the members of the jury which devices move southbound and what your analysis showed.
The only device that we end up seeing in the records moving southbound is going to be Scandirito Senior's device. And we'll see that in the Google location data, which is associated with Scandirito Senior's cellular device, and we'll see it in Scandirito Senior's AT&T records. The first one that we're going to look at is the Google location data associated with his cellular device. And we have another pinpoint here on our legend. So the green pinpoint still Scandirito Senior's address. The red dot with the yellow circle will be the estimated location of the device per Google's location information. And then the blue pinpoint will be 445 North Andrews Avenue, Fort Lauderdale. This is Scandirito Jr.'s address. So we're going to start right here. Again, this is green pinpoint would be Scandirito Senior's address, and we saw the device move eastbound away from the address. And what we have here again is another surveillance camera snapshot with Scandirito Senior's vehicle driving away from the residence. This is at 8:31 a.m. according to the timestamp of the video. And then we're going to continue forward. And we're going to see the Google location data travel southbound just slightly here at first. And where the location data ends or stops, at least just for a little bit, is going to be right here on the north end of Ocean Breeze Golf Course.
Is that do you know if that's the Boca Chica apartment complex?
I'm not that familiar with Boca.
Are you familiar with that golf course?
I am familiar with that golf course.
Okay. What is the next thing that we see?
So the next thing we see here is another snapshot from the surveillance camera, and it's going to zoom in here in a second. It's an individual walking back to what appears to be Scandirito Senior's address. And that's going to be followed up shortly with another surveillance camera still shot of a light-colored Prius leaving the road from Scandirito Senior's address. And keep in mind, during this time, Scandirito Senior's Google location is still at the north end of the Ocean Breeze Golf Course until a few minutes later. And we're going to progress through time now. And we're going to begin to see a southbound movement here of the Google location data. These are cell tower heads. But as we look at the progression, what we see is it's consistent with using or driving down, moving down I-95 or a similarly situated roadway.
During this time period, are you getting any information whatsoever from the device associated with the defendant?
No. All right, now we start to see that blue pinpoint come into angle here, or come into the picture here, and we're going to see the device moving towards this location, again being Scandirito Jr.'s location, and then hovering on top, being consistent with Scandirito Sr.'s device now being at Scandirito Jr.'s residence.
And again, during this time, is there any activity for Scandirito Jr.'s device?
No activity.
At some point, does Senior's device move from that location
Yes.
and continue in the southbound direction?
Yes.
Tell the members of the jury when that occurs and what your analysis indicates.
During the time frame of around 10 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. is when when this analysis takes place. And what we'll end up seeing is the device, Scandirito Senior's device, traveling from that Fort Lauderdale address, Scandirito Jr.'s home address, down to the general Miami Gardens area. And I'll point that out here in the map in a second. The first thing we're going to look at is the Google location data, which is associated with Scandirito Senior's Samsung cellular device. And what we see here again, a green pinpoint is going to be Scandirito Senior's address. The blue pinpoint is going to be Scandirito Jr.'s address. The red dot with the yellow circle is going to be the estimated location of the device per Google. So the device, because the screen starts moving pretty quickly here, the device begins being consistent with Scandirito Jr.'s residence being at or around that general area. And we're going to travel westbound towards I-95. And then again, we're going to be consistent with moving south on I-95 or a similarly situated street. And this movement continues all the way up until around 11:15 or 11:16. And that's when all activity with Google and AT&T ceases for approximately 4 hours.
Is there ever any activity from the defendant's phone during this time period? No, there's no activity with Scandirito Jr.'s device. And when you say that the data ceases or the information ceases for approximately 4 hours, what is that consistent with?
It's consistent with the device being off or out of service.
And how far south does Scandirito Senior's phone go?
So this is the southernmost movement by Scandirito Senior's device. As we can see right here, I'm circling with my mouse. It says Miami Gardens right there. So that's why I say it's in the general area of Miami Gardens. I'm not very familiar with Miami myself. But this roadway is northeast 167th Street in Miami. And that's as far south as we're going to go. If you look at the time frame, we're at 11:07 here. Right at around 11:15 or 11:16, we're going to jump all the way back north because the time's going to move all the way forward to around 3:30, and then the device is not consistent with being at the residence, but consistent to being within the resident's neighborhood.
Is that consistent with the device being turned off when it was in Miami and then turned back on?
Yes.
Does the device ever go any further south than the Miami Gardens area? Specifically, does it ever go to Key Biscayne?
No. At least, I'm sorry, let me preface that. There's nothing in the records that indicate that it went down to Key Biscayne.
Did you plot March 29th between 6 and 6:40 p.m.?
March 29th, I'm sorry?
Yes, between 6 and 6:40 p.m.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped way ahead. You said it jumped forward to 3:30 p.m.?
Yeah, approximately 3:30 p.m.
And then was there other location information that you plotted with respect to a Publix?
Yes.
Tell the members of the jury what your analysis indicates.
So I looked at the time frame of 3:30 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. and this was based off of a surveillance camera footage that I know the time frame to be 3:39 to 3:51 p.m. And that surveillance camera footage shows Scandirito Jr. at the Publix. And I mapped the Google location data, the associated with Scandirito Sr., the AT&T internet data, AT&T Nellos data with Scandirito Sr., and then the most interesting information came out of actually Scandirito Sr.'s AT&T text message data, and that was because of a drive scan that we conducted. So what I'm going to show you is I believe it's a single transaction at 3:32 p.m. and it uses a tower and sector, so one of the sides of the cellular tower. And during my drive scan, the only time that the scanner ever saw that particular tower and that particular sector was when I was in the parking lot of that particular Publix at 7431 North Federal Highway, Boca Raton. So at 3:32 p.m., it would be very consistent with the device being, at the very least, at the parking lot of Publix.
Can you show the animation that indicates what you were talking about?
So this is the transaction. I'm just going to pause it here so we can see it. This is, again, a text message transaction. The tower is located right here, and the coverage area is right here. Okay. The green is still Scandirito Sr.'s residence, but the pink pinpoint right here, that is going to be that Publix. And we're going to move forward a little bit in this animation and the drive scan results for this particular tower. And it's going to zoom in a second, so I'll just give it a second. So every time the scanner saw this tower in this particular sector, this is where I was located. The street right behind Publix, the interior parking lot of Publix, and around the back of Publix.
So did your analysis, was that consistent with the Scandirito Sr.'s cell phone being at the Publix at the time the defendant is observed on the surveillance video at between 3 and 4:15?
That's correct. The transaction's at 3:32 p.m., so it's certainly consistent with being there, and it would be consistent with that surveillance camera footage.
Did you repeat the same analysis for the second trip to Publix that day after 6 o'clock p.m.?
Yes, it was a similar analysis. However, I did not have the same text message data or precise data from Google or Nellos.
Was the result of your analysis the same? It was consistent with the victim's cell phone being present at the Publix at that time?
That's correct. The data, while it wasn't super precise, I didn't have a GPS hit or something like that, it was still consistent with being in that general area of the Publix during that time frame.
And again, do you have any data to plot out the defendant's phone at this time?
No.
Were you alerted, skipping ahead, were you alerted to a text message exchange that occurred between the victim's phone and the defendant's phone on or about March 30th, 2018, between 10:30 a.m. and 1 o'clock p.m.?
Yes, I was.
And do you, in addition to reviewing the call detail records, did you review the text message records and the Cellbrite extraction of the defendant's phone for the time periods that the phone received the text message?
Yes.
Okay. Tell the members of the jury about that analysis.
Okay, so what we're gonna look at eventually, it's gonna be referred to as transaction number 34. And all that means is it's on line number 34 of the call detail records of the request. And what we see is an outgoing text message from 305, 409, 5900, that's Scandirito. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm looking at the right one. Yes, okay, so it's outgoing from Scandirito Senior to Scandirito Junior, and that was sent at 10:50 a.m. Now, this message is not received by Scandirito Junior's device up until 11:25 a.m., and that would be transaction 58. And I'm going to point it out on the animation, but that'll be his transaction number 58, indicating that the device was either off or had no service at the time Senior sent him the text message. The estimated handoff coverage areas, where we believe the device to be from the text that was sent by Scandirito Senior's device and the text when it was ultimately received by Scandirito Junior, overlap. So when it was sent, it was consistent with the device being nearby once it was ultimately received. What that means is the devices were in the same general area when the text was sent at 10:50 a.m. as when the device, Scandirito Junior's device, received that text message 35 minutes later. And I can show.
Did you create an animation to explain?
Yes, it's going to be two separate animations. The first one's going to be the AT&T, so that's going to be Scandirito Senior's transaction. So like I said right here, so this is transaction 34. Again, I know it's probably a little difficult to see, but there's a 34 right there. And just to kind of, so you understand where we are geographically, right here, this red pinpoint, this is Ocean Breeze Golf Course. This is basically in the center of Ocean Breeze Golf Course. The green pinpoint is still Scandirito Senior's address. And this large yellow road right here that goes north and south, that's I-95. So there is a little industrial area, and it has some hotels in it, in this general area. And so this particular text message is consistent with being in that general area of those industrial areas. And then for Scandirito Junior, it's kind of at a different angle here, but once again, we have the green pinpoint being Scandirito Senior's residence, red pinpoint being Ocean Breeze Golf Course, and then the red coverage area indicates Scandirito Junior's location. Now, it's pointing a different way, and again, we have T-Mobile and AT&T. They have different towers in different sectors. But if we were to overlay the two, these two, the two text message transactions would have been consistent with being sent and received at the same location.
Can you talk to us about your analysis of the public?
Yes.
Did you do a similar analysis for Walgreens on March 30th between 1 and 1:45 p.m.?
Yes, I did.
And was the result of the analysis, without going into the animation, what was the result of the analysis?
It was consistent with being in the general area of the Walgreens for Google location. However, AT&T internet data did not have any transactions during the time frame. I'm sorry. It's consistent with Scandirito Senior's device being in the general area of Walgreens during that time frame. There was no Nellos activity, which is the estimated AT&T location data. And there was no data for Scandirito Junior to map.
And then finally, were you directed to do some analysis of the area of Delray Beach known as Knowles Park for the time period on or about March 31st, beginning at around 8:29 a.m.?
Yes, I was.
Can you tell the members of the jury what that analysis was and what the results were?
So I looked at around the time frame of 8:29 a.m. in the area of Knowles Park, and the most important transaction is going to be the first one that we're going to look at. There was no Google location data at this time. There was just no more further data at this point. But we do have an AT&T internet data transaction. So the device was communicating with AT&T's internet. And this transaction is also going to include a drive scan. And what you're going to see is the only time that this tower and sector was used was when I was in the parking lot of Knowles Park doing that drive scan. And just to quickly go over the legend, green pinpoint, still Scandirito Senior's address. White pinpoint is going to be Knowles Park. And the red pinpoint, which you may or may not see in this animation, would be Ocean Breeze. The green overlay right here is going to be the estimated handoff coverage area for that AT&T data transaction. And what I have overlaid here real quick is a surveillance camera still shot, and right here we have what's consistent with Scandirito Senior's white vehicle entering Knowles Park. And right here we have the white pinpoint, which indicates Knowles Park. And we're going to move forward here a little bit, and we're going to have that drive scan pop up on the screen here in a second. There it is. So the drive scan is right inside the parking lot, and we're going to zoom in, of Knowles Park. The only time I used that tower and sector, or the only time that tower and sector was seen during the drive scan was when I was in that particular parking lot.
Did that conclude your analysis of Knowles Park?
Yes, it did.
Did you also, were you also alerted to phone calls from the defendant's phone to the victim's handset on or about March 31st after midnight?
Yes.
And did you do an analysis of those phone calls?
Yeah, I reviewed those on Google Earth.
Okay. Tell the members of the jury what your analysis of those phone calls indicated with regards to the two handsets.
It was a phone call between the two handsets, and the estimated handoff coverage area overlap between the two devices. Therefore, it was consistent with the devices being in the same general area. And I can actually show that on the map if you would like.
Sure, if you could.
As long as my internet didn't disconnect.
Was it similar to the other overlap diagrams that you've shown us before?
Yes.
Okay. Where you have the pink and the green on top of each other?
Yes.
What areas would that be consistent with them being the same general location?
I believe it was the industrial area west of Ocean Breeze Park.
Okay. Were you also provided some lift records for analysis?
Yes, I was.
And do the lift records contain beginning point and ending point data?
Yes.
Did they indicate what date, relevant to this case, were there any lift rides that were on those records in the after March 28th, 2008?
Yes, there was 3 rides on March 30th, 2018.
And what were the times of those rides?
The time is 2:41 p.m. Start with a finish time of 2:48 p.m. The next ride was 2:59 p.m. to 3:03 p.m. And then that final ride on March 30th was at 3:33 p.m. to 3:39 p.m.
Did you plot those? And without showing the plots, did you plot them at some point?
Yes, they were plotted.
And what is the location of those rides?
In and around Boca Raton.
You said that Google provides location information and provides other information.
That's correct.
In this case, did Google provide information regarding searches and browse websites from the account as identified as belonging to the defendant?
Yes, it did.
And was one of the tasks that you were asked to do to review those documents for searches and browse websites that might be relevant to this case?
Yes.
Did you find any Google searches of note on March 22nd, 2012?
Yes, it did.
What Google searches of note did you observe on that day?
Do you want me to display them on the screen or?
You can just tell.
Um,
Can you tell the members of the jury what format the data comes in so that you're able to do your analysis?
Google provides a text document, which is kind of like a Word document, but slightly different. And what they do is they give you the date, the time, but the time is in UTC time, which is a universal way of showing time. This way it makes it easier to convert back. So you don't always have to convert from Eastern to Central. It's always at 0, and then you make it into Eastern based on, in this particular case, you would subtract 5 hours or subtract 4 hours. And then from there, it says searched or visited, and then it will provide certain information about what was searched on the web. And then below that would be the URL, so the www.espn or something like that. That was just an example. And you can actually click on that and pull open the website to see what it was exactly that they searched.
And that's the searches. What about the Google browse records?
Yeah, so the browsing records would be different. So the searches would be based off of things they searched on Google search engine, searched on Google search apps on their phone or tablet. Browsing would be websites visited on the Google Chrome browser. So anything you visit on Google Chrome browser theoretically could be stored in Google's server farm somewhere.
So with regards to the searches, what search is relevant to the case that you observed on March 22nd, 2018?
There are 3 searches for Medellin apartments, which I believe is in Colombia. And the times are at 5:01 p.m. For all 3 of them.
Is there, when you say apartments, is there a search for purchasing an apartment?
Yes, so search for, I'm going to read exactly how it says on the Google search records here. Search for Medellin apartment rentals. Search for Medellin apartments for sale. And then the next one is realtor.com Medellin apartments.
And did you indicate that you clicked on those and they are in fact Colombian listings?
Yes.
Did you find any searches of note to this case on March 27th, 2018?
Yes.
What searches did you find?
There were several searches in regards to Patron and Patron tequila coffee.
And is that throughout the day?
That's correct. We start on about 12:20 p.m. and it's up to 12:59 p.m.
On March 28th, 2018, was there any search for any or any sports team searches?
Did you say 28th?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I had to do the time conversion. Yes, on March 28th at 10:55 p.m., there was a search for Corinthians Sao Paulo game, which is a football or soccer game. Same search at 11:02 p.m. on the same day.
What is the next search?
The next search takes place on March 29th at 12:33 a.m. Excuse me. It's a search for 24-hour Walmart.
How many times is 24-hour Walmart or a Walmart location search for that time?
So we have the one at 12:33 a.m. We have another search for 24-hour Walmart at 1:52 a.m. Second search for 24-hour Walmart at 1:52 a.m. Third search, or another search for Walmart Supercenter. This time it has an address, 16205 South Military Trail, Delray Beach, Florida, 33484. That was at 1:53 a.m. And that concludes the Walmart searches during that day.
Did you note any searches, or were there any searches of note on March 31st of 2018?
Yes, there was.
What searches did you note that day?
There were searches in reference to Ocean Breeze Golf Course. starting, and actually, when you do the time conversion, it's March 30th at 9:29 p.m. Search for Ocean Breeze Golf Course at 9:29 p.m. Ocean Breeze Golf Club at 9:30 p.m. Searched for Ocean Breeze Golf Course Layout. 9:31 p.m. Search for Ocean Breeze Golf Course Layout again. At 10:26 p.m. Search for Ocean Breeze Golf Course Layout. That concluded that.
Did you note any searches on April 1st regarding Bank of America?
Yes, April 1st at 5:32 p.m. Search for Is Bank of America Zelle.
And what is Zelle?
Zelle is a application where you can easily send money.
Objection to the
Sustained.
Were there any searches of note on April 2nd, 2018?
Yes, there was.
What search did you note on April 2nd?
On April 2nd at 6:29 p.m., searched for how long does it take to get Brazilian citizenship. That was the only one.
Were there any searches regarding missing persons on April 2nd?
Sorry, yes. So this search was actually located in the browsing section of the Google records data, but at 3:43 p.m. in the browsing section, there was a Google search for visited missing person presumed dead. So that's what was typed into the Google search bar on top, missing person presumed dead. And then at 3:44 p.m., once again, visited the Google search, missing persons presumed dead. At 3:45 p.m., he visited a States and Statutes Constitution view in regards to, hold on, I gotta click the link to get the exact statute information here. Probate Code General Provision, statute number 731.103, evidence as to death or status.
Were there any searches that you noted on April 4th?
Yes.
What searches did you note that day?
On April 4th, there was a 6:29 p.m. Search for how long does it take to get, I'm sorry, that was the wrong one. April 4th at 2:02 p.m., search for private jet flights tracker. At 2:49 p.m., we search for Owen Roberts International Airport. At 2:55 p.m., search for L. Pindling International. At 3 p.m., search for La Romana.
He searches for several airports?
That's correct.
Does he also search for directions to any specific locations in South America?
Well, there's a lot of searches. So. Yes.
Which locations does he search for directions?
We search for Medellin to Cartagena, thank you. Sorry. Directions to Cartagena, province, Bolivar, Colombia, I think. Bolivar.
Is there a search for Medellin?
Yes, search for Medellin in Colombia, directions to Cali, Valle del Cauca, Colombia.
And then on April 6th, does he make any other searches? No.
April 6th at 3:59 p.m., searched for arrest warrant, search Florida.
May I first witness?
May?
Is that HDMI cable plugged in your computer?
Yes.
Can I borrow it?
Sure can.
Will the Detective, in the course of your homicide investigations, have you used Cellbrite before?
I have.
And just briefly while I set up the computer, what is Cellbrite?
Cellbrite is a software utilized to forensically analyze devices.
Is it, it copies the device?
Yeah, it copies the information from the device, and then me as an investigator, I'm typically provided a file to open and then go through and locate information of importance, which would include text messages, phone calls, voicemails, images, videos, and a variety of other things.
So you're not the individual that extracts the data, but you are one of the individuals that can read the data.
That's correct. I've looked at numerous Cellbrite reports over the course of the 5 years I've been in homicide.
Okay, and Your Honor, may I have permission to publish portions of State's Exhibit number 107?
You may.
Detective, I'm showing you on the screen a portion of State's Exhibit number 107. Did you see this before you had a chance to testify today?
Yes, I did.
And what are we seeing? What can you orient the members of the jury the time and date of this text message and the parties involved?
Okay, so you can see it in two different spots. It would be over here, but you can also look in this particular section, and it's a text message. There's a phone number right here. My eyes are, I can't actually read.
Your Honor, look at step down.
Thank you.
Just make sure you speak.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a timestamp right here, 10/18/2017 at 3:57 p.m. And right here it says UTC -4. This is what I meant earlier, so UTC regular would be converting, but because it says UTC -4, I know it's Eastern time. And right here we have parties, and we have a phone number, 561-350-1357, Scandirito Skip. And then right here would be the body or the content of the text message.
And is this a text message that was sent by Skip Scandirito and received by the defendant's handset?
That's correct.
What is the text message read?
More tickets came here yesterday. You have one MO to clean them up, or a car is going to be sold.
And then the next text message that I'm showing is the immediate next text message in the line. Is this a sent or received text message?
This is a sent text message, timestamp being 10/18/2017 at 3:58 p.m. It's to Scandirito Skip, 561-350-1357. There's a period, and then the next line it says actually it says surpass tickets.
Okay.
Most likely Sunpass.
The next one, is that also a sent or received message?
Yes, so it's sent 10/18/2017 at 3:58 p.m. to 561-350-1357 Scandirito Skip, and the body or content of this text message is a question mark.
Is that immediately following the previous text message, the surpass ticket one?
Yes, let's see, 3:58 and then 3:58, yes.
Okay. What is the next text message in this chain?
10/18/2017 at 3:59 p.m. It is a inbox, so it is from 561-350-1357 Scandirito Skip, and then the body and contents right here, and it says yes, a few more totaling 490, and also Miami-Dade.
The next text message in the exchange?
10/18/2017 is the date. The time is 4:02 p.m. It is a sent message. It is from, or to, I'm sorry, it is to 561-350-1357 Scandirito Skip. And the body of the message, or the content of the text message was, okay, it is the same one. I requested they eliminate the penalties, and I'm waiting for that.
Okay. Now, were you also shown additional text messages in that exchange?
Yes, I was.
And can you tell the members of the jury what the difference is between an SMS text message and an MMS text message?
An SMS is a standard text message. It's relatively short in length and it's text only. An MMS could be a variety of things. It could be a group message. It could be a message where audio is sent. It could be a message where video is sent. And in these particular instances that we're going to see, it could be a message where a picture is sent.
Okay. And in this text message exchange, are you able to see on the timeline view that there's some of this exchange is a text message and some of this is an MMS message?
Yes, that's correct.
And then for the purpose of presentation as a jury, we've separated the SMS and the MMS.
That's correct.
Okay. What is the first text message in this exchange, and what is the date and time and sent or received?
So this is a sent text message on December 7th, 2017 at 2:48 p.m. It is sent to 561-350-1357. Scandirito Skip is the contact name in red. The body of the text message is, please text me the online payment number and client code from the line barter letter.
And then the next text message?
The next one is another sent text message on December 7th, 2017 at 2:48 p.m. It is sent to 561-350-1357. Again, the contact name is Scandirito Skip. The body of the message is, or take a photo of the letter and send me.
Then the next text message?
Next message is December 7th, a sent text message, December 7th, 2017 at 2:48 p.m. It is sent to 561-350-1357, Scandirito Skip, and the body of the message is thanks. The next message, December 7th, 2017 at 2:52 p.m. It is a inbox, so a received message from 561-350-1357, Scandirito Skip, and the body of the message says confirm TLS, which is short term for please.
And was there a MMS message sent?
Yes, there was.
And what is the date and time of the MMS message? Who sent the MMS message?
So we know it's an MMS message because it says MMS message right here. This is an inbox, so a received MMS. It took place at 12/7/2017 at 2:52 p.m. It is from 561-350-1357 from Scandirito Skip. And right here is the file that was attached to this particular MMS message. And
Go ahead.
the file is the account summary for Linebarger, Gogan, Blair, and Sampson, LLP. A notice of debt letter. And right here we have a dollar amount circled.
Back to the SMS messages. The next text in that chain.
The next text was a sent message on December 7th, 2017, 2:58 p.m. It was sent to 561-350-1357. Scandirito Skip was the contact name. The body of the message is got it and paid. The next message is, the next message is an inbox, so a received message at 12/7 on December 7th, 2017 at 2:58 p.m. It is from 561-350-1357, Scandirito Skip, and the body of the message is great.
And then is there another MMS message that's sent?
That's correct. At December 7th, 2017 at 2:58 p.m. It is a sent MMS message. It was to 561-350-1357, Scandirito Skip, and then the attachment is right here.
And what is the attachment?
The attachment is a web receipt from paid to Florida Turnpike Enterprise with a dollar amount. I can't see it on here, but it is a web receipt. Oh, there it is, right here. Dollar amount, right here.
What is the dollar amount?
$102.19.
You can set that up. You said that you received a lot of information from Google pursuant to the order. Was one of the things that you received from Google extraction from the Gmail belonging to the defendant?
Yes, it was.
And can you explain to the members of the jury what that is?
So along with your location and your web search and browsing history, Google also maintains a database of your your emails. So at reviewing the emails, you download them and you can look at them and you can see sent and received emails to a account.
Was that one of the things you were asked to do in this case?
Yes, it was.
May I approach the witness?
May.
Sir, I'm showing you what is marked for identification purposes. First, as State's Exhibit number 161. Second, State's Exhibit number 163. Do you recognize what's depicted in those two exhibits?
Yes.
In State's Exhibit number, are they both emails that you obtained from the Gmail extraction provided to you by law enforcement?
Provided by Google, yes.
By Google, I'm sorry. Are they fair and accurate depictions of the two emails that you've taken from the defendant's Gmail account?
Yes, they are.
161, who or what is the subject of 161?
161 is a email back and forth between Lyft
And the defendant?
and the defendant. Yes, I'm sorry.
Judge, at this time I move State's Exhibit number 161 into evidence.
Objection to your statement.
All right. This is let me see the attorney here again. All right, folks, thank you. I've heard, let me just ask, do you all need a bathroom break? Or you don't, anybody? You don't have to be the first to raise your hand. You want to go ahead and take 10 minutes in the back? All right. Let's go ahead and take 10 minutes in the back. All right. Yes, it's cold here. I know that. It gets cold when there's no sun out. It gets hot when it's sunny. So, folks, we'll get you back in 10 minutes for the continued direct examination. All right.